So you've split up with your ex and now you're checking the socials every 5 minutes. You're asking around about them all the time and you look for signs that they've moved on. Even though every time you find something, it feels like you've been punched in the gut. So why do we keep doing it? Why do you need to know the very things that are destroying you? Roll VT. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Andy O'Neill. I'm a life coach who specialises in breakups, breakup recovery and self-esteem. I release videos every week, so if you're new here, you've not yet subscribed, please give that button a press. So why is it after a breakup you become so obsessed with what your ex is up to, even though you know it's going to hurt you? And let's be honest, you don't need to see them with somebody else. Just seeing a simple social media post of them doing something mundane can still trigger you because they're getting on with their life without you and it hurts. So why do we do it? Well, before we get into that, I'm really interested to know from you, are you still secretly checking up on your ex? And if you are, how long have you been split up? Let me know in the comments, as I'm really interested to know how many of you are still stuck in this place. Okay, so back to it. So what you're actually doing is you're not looking for information. What you're actually after is certainty. You see, after a breakup, your brain enters a state of uncertainty and fear. Because let's be honest, you don't know what's going to happen. Will they come back? Did he miss you? Are they with somebody else? You have no idea because the ball is firmly in their court. And that uncertainty feels unbearable. So you look for answers, even painful ones. Ironically, painful certainty often feels safer than painful uncertainty, because at least we know, kind of like being put out your misery. But you see, ultimately the brain would rather feel certain and in pain than uncertain and hopeful. But why is that? Well, firstly, let's look at some of the science behind it, right? You see, it's not a weakness, it's literally how your brain's wired. So the amygdala, right, that's your threat detection center, that goes on high alert after rejection or emotional pain. You're in a kind of hyper-vigilant mode, constantly scanning for threats or signs of danger. Rejection activates the same brain pathways as actual pain. So you looking at your ex with somebody new, that's not just emotional. Your brain reads it like a punch. And now you've got dopamine, which also plays a role. So the anticipation of seeing something good, maybe you'll see a social media post about how much they're actually missing you. That gives you a dopamine hit until you don't see it. And that's when you crash. It's like scratching a wound, yeah. You know it'll hurt, maybe it'll even bleed. But your brain convinces you that you need to know just to know that it's real. So that's a bit of science behind it. But still, why are we doing it from an emotional standpoint? It doesn't make sense, right? Because all it does is hurt you. Well, you're not chasing pain. What you're actually chasing is hope or closure. You might still believe there's a chance, so you're checking in. You want some sort of proof, any small crumb that they still care. Or maybe proof that they don't, so you can finally let go. And I know for people on the outside looking in, they might say, but you've broken up. That's all the proof that you need. Why do you need more? Well, as you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, there's stages of breakup recovery that you go through, right? And the stage you want to get to is acceptance. So when you're doing all these things, checking up on them all the time, it means you haven't accepted it yet. That's why you either want proof that they still want you or proof that they really don't. Because ultimately, the breakup isn't enough proof for you. Not yet anyway. And then this is where rumination sets in. That mental loop where you go over and over what happened, trying to resolve it, because your brain's not accepted it, so it's trying to find a solution. But instead of helping you move on, it's keeping you stuck in the grief loop. So what can you do about it? Well, the first thing is awareness. Be aware of what you're doing and why. And be honest with yourself. Tell yourself, I'm not looking for the truth here. I'm looking for relief. Relief that maybe they still want you. Relief that they haven't yet moved on. Or relief that they have, so you can finally let them go. But that shift in thinking and understanding of what you're actually doing, it changes your intention. And so now with that awareness, now you have to be honest with yourself as to what you're doing. Now it's time to introduce friction. Now, what do I mean by friction, right? I mean putting things in the way of you and information about your ex. So block them on social media. Speak to your friends and tell them you don't want any updates on what they're up to. And stop going places because you think that's where they might be. Create that friction, create that separation. The next thing is to build internal certainty. So looking inwards. So you wake up, yeah, and immediately you're thinking about your ex. Where are they? What are they up to? Who are they with? You need to stop and ask yourself, what do I need to be okay today without knowing what they're doing? So without finding anything out about them, what do I need today to feel okay? Because that's what breakup recovery is all about, right? It's not about your ex, it's about you. But in those moments of despair and anxiety, we externalize how we're feeling and we project it onto our ex. It's her I need, it's him I need. And we forget or don't even realize you don't need them. You can feel better yourself. So ask yourself that question today. Take your ex out the equation and simply ask yourself, what do I need today? And the last thing is pattern interruption. You see, you're stuck in a habit loop. Wake up, check their socials. Make a brew, check the socials. Then phone a friend and talk about your ex for an hour. Next, it's throw on a soppy love song, looking back at all the pictures on your phone of you and your ex. And then check the socials again. You're stuck in this pattern, in this loop. So you need to interrupt it. You need to replace the urge to check something automatic, like checking the socials, with something new, like going for a walk or putting on a really hyper song that gets you pumped up, or anything other than what you would normally do. And what you're doing by doing this is you're breaking the habit loop. And over time, you'll break it for good. You see, the goal here isn't willpower, it's pattern interruption. So if you're finding yourself still checking up on your ex all the time and it's causing you pain, then the first thing you need to do is be honest with yourself. That honesty of admitting, I'm not chasing pain, I'm chasing certainty. Then create the friction, block the socials, tell your friends not to update you on them. Then ask yourself that question, what do I need today to feel okay without knowing what they're doing? And then finally, interrupt the pattern by breaking that habit loop. Have something positive you go to and do instead every time you feel the urge to check up on them. And if you do those things over time, I promise your desire to check up on them will get less and less. And eventually it'll stop causing you pain. Because the cold hard truth is, they've moved on with their life and it's time you do too. Now, if you want a free ebook that can help you navigate breakup recovery, then hit the link in the description and grab yourself a copy. But for now, nice one for listening, and I'll see you in the next. Laters.